Hey, folks, I am with world-renowned speaker, author,
Here we go.
teacher,
Here we go.
Tina Konkin. How you doing?
I'm awesome.
So glad to have you. I'm so glad to have met you. And I know there's so many great things going on. First off, tell people where you're from. Tell people a little bit about yourself.
Okay, that's a long story.
Yeah,
So I'll just go with, I am Canadian, born in Belgium, so I'm Italian.
Okay.
And but I am Canadian.
Oh, wow.
And in 2008, we moved to California, my husband and I, and started working in California because we heard that there was a 72% divorce rate in first-time marriages in Orange County. And I thought, well, that's a good market. Honestly, that's what we thought.
Because y'all do marriage counseling.
We do intensive marriage retreats, and so we're the sort of the 911, the emergency room, you know, where they've done everything else, and they're going to do one last thing just so they can put that in the books, you know, and God's been good. We see over the retreats over a 90% success rate.
Wow.
And people ask me, what's the secret to that? Well, I could give you the spiritual secret. It's the Holy Ghost, it's God, it's Jesus. But the real secret is what Jesus said that healed our marriage. And when I saw that in the scripture in Matthew 19:8, this turned my life around in marriage. Because, we always hear except for adultery. Right. Well, that's where we were. We were in the adultery. So we thought, okay, well, I've got an out, but I wasn't feeling it. And God wasn't giving me the out. As a matter of fact, he used these words, you will not open that door.
Wow.
As I looked at my front door and I thought, out,
Yeah.
And God just went, no.
Wow.
And so I thought, you're going to have to give me more than that because, when we have internal beliefs, even scriptural ones, but God says, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But you know what I saw? Because we quote that scripture in Matthew 19:8, Jesus said this, Moses allowed divorce because, and now he's expecting the adultery part, right?
Right.
Because of the hardness of the heart.
Wow.
So when God said, don't open that door, he was saying, give me your heart first.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Give me your heart first. And so that was amazing for me because now we've, over 30 years post, I'm a widow now, but we went into relationship ministry.
And it's amazing what could have been or was a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, I'm sure, becomes a platform of you're talking ridiculous healings and deliverance, and so you have one yes. We're on this series called The Power of Yes. So one yes, you said in the midst of this adulterous situation, and it birthed this healing marriage retreat and thing, and then it takes you on some major platforms. I read in your bio that you did the Dr. Phil show, and you were on what was some of the other.
Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. That was interesting, but so good. Actually, it was their anniversary is today.
Today, wow.
Today's anniversary.
Congratulations.
So, yes, and they were split when I got to them, and just God did a real work. We're still good friends.
What do you say to Gene Simmons when you walk in the door, and what do you say? Like, what are you saying to these couples?
First thing I said to him, I said, don't you ever be late again. You walked in, the Gene Simmons look with the glasses, the whole thing, this, and he was late. And I said, don't you ever be late again.
Seriously?
I did. I said it was a 2-day retreat. I mean, I couldn't afford for him to be late and just wander in when he felt like it, and that put him like.
Good for you. I like that.
So,
any other celebrities you've had to do?
I have, and some I have permission to say, and some I don't. But China Phillips, and Billy Baldwin.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, we're working on a movie together right now about the other woman. I wrote a book.
I was going to say, talk about that.
Yeah, so I wrote a book that focused on the family, published, and it's called How God Used the Other Woman. By the way, the other woman was a very close friend.
Wow.
So it was a double whammy. Wow. And but you know what? God healed it. She's a close friend again today.
Wow.
Now, I don't suggest that, and I don't, promote that, but that's what God did for us, and our testimony is, just only God, and but I said yes.
Yeah,
I said yes when He said, "Don't open that door." My response was, "Really?" And then I went, "Okay."
That is amazing that you can always wonder sometimes, but I know with my own testimony and whatnot. I guess for me. Saying yes to whatever that particular situation was, that seemed easier than not. But then when I look at a situation like yours, sitting across from you, it's like, wow, how does a person do that?
And Pastor Javen, the thing is when you've got scriptures to back you up, I told my husband before we got married, now, I can forgive a lot. You do that.
Right.
And, and then when we were preparing for our vows in premarital counseling, the pastor said, "Now you realize till death do you part." And I said, "Well, that's no problem. I come from a mafia family." I said, "So don't you ever."
So you already warned him. Hey, listen, buddy.
Yeah. I said, you'll
may not go down.
This will not, And I said,
this will not end well for you.
Yeah. I had the Bible behind me, and I had the mafia along with them,
Yeah, double-edged sword, right?
Exactly.
All right, so let's do this right quick. Let's do a crash course on some couples that are watching right now.
Right.
What are some of the key things that you kind of right off the top of your head? Now, I know you do specific things for specific situations, but let's try to give some general points that will kind of help move somebody that might be desperate watching this right now.
Yeah, and I don't want this program to just be about, infidelity. Marriage, relationships, parenthood, friendships, when Jesus talks about divorce, yes, he was responding to a question. But if you look at that and you think, what breaks up any relationship? What breaks up relationships in the church?
Yeah.
In leadership, in all of it, in business. Mm-hmm. It's not just marriage, the hardness of the heart.
Yeah.
Right? And if we identify what that is, I said, God, show me what the hardness of the heart is, because the hardest thing that I had to confront is God telling me, don't be a victim in this.
Wow.
Do not be a victim and look at your part. Now I wrote the book, The Other Woman, and the only criticism that I got was that I wasn't I used the question that God used on me. What part did you play?
Wow.
Because I can only do what I can do to
That's
change
hard,
me.
Tina.
It is hard.
That is hard.
But in every situation,
that is hard.
If there's an offense, if there's a hurt, if there's a wound,
you played a part.
I have a part to play.
Yeah.
Only children are victims.
Wow.
You might be the victim of, even if you're an adult, of a drunk driver. But what you do with it after that moment is up to you.
So don't play the victim when something goes down.
That's right.
Or while you're in something and maybe you're feeling frustration, do ask the question,
right.
What role am I playing?
What role am I playing? Because I can only change me. I can't change you.
Okay.
We go into marriage. I think we talked about it at the WOW conference a little bit, thinking, oh, that'll change, or I can change that, And then it's like it doesn't change, and now I'm not tolerating it anymore.
Wow.
So I call it changing the dance.
So let me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think asking yourself, what can I change in me to be the best form of me?
Wow. Okay. So let me ask you this: are there roles in marriage?
Yes.
Okay, I want to hear this.
I'm not gonna say roles as in normal roles.
Okay.
But roles in a relationship. I think the roles that we play, are we willing to always look in the mirror? So even though, we went into a relationship type ministry, I don't only take married people. Okay. Everybody's in a relationship. So when we do our intensives, there's singles, there's separated people, there's divorced people, there's couples obviously struggling.
Right.
But it's all about relationship. And the only relationship you have power in is the relationship you have first with yourself. So what role do I play with myself? Am I kind to myself? Am I forgiving to myself? And how do I show up? So my role as a wife is, how do I show up as a wife? How do I show up as a mom? How do I show up as a friend? Right? And that should be consistent. So in my marriage, when God asked me, what role did I not play in that marriage? When he asked me what role I played in that, like what I did to be the breakdown. Now, I'll be really crude because can I be real honest?
Please be very transparent.
Honest. Okay.
Yes.
So I had no part when he took his pants down. All right.
That's right.
That had nothing to do with me. And I've been criticized, with the book that I wrote, that it made it sound like I was taking responsibility for the affair.
Right.
No, not at all. Your sin is your sin. You're accountable to it. When God said, what part did I play? He was asking me about my role in my marriage. So, the first thing that went through my mind, did I burn the cookies?
Yeah.
Did I not do the laundry on time? Like, I could pick and choose all those things that maybe I wasn't the best wife, I wasn't the best mother, I had a short fuse, and that's the condemnation I was going after. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that gave him the right to
to
drop his pants? Like, come on,
Exactly.
And so that's why I thought it was the enemy talking to me.
Okay.
So I was defending, but if you've been a believer long enough, you know God's voice. And I said, still with a very bad attitude, I said, okay, well, if I played a part in it, show me. And I expected God to start showing me all my weaknesses, all my shortcomings, all my past failures as a wife, as a mom, as everything, But he didn't. He showed me before I got to the marriage the wounds I came in with.
Got it.
The vows that I had made. See, I had a boyfriend that died. When I was 22, he was 25. He died of cancer, and I nurtured him for a year in sickness. And the day that and this is all in my book, but the day that I went to say goodbye, he was dead, in the funeral home. I was by myself. I laid a rose on his chest, and I said, I will never love like that again.
Wow.
So the part of my heart that I never gave my husband, but he never needed it, was the nurture of a wife. I believe as a mom, as a wife, as a friend, we are called to nurture cry with those that cry.
Yeah.
When my husband cried, he was not a crier. He was the happy one. He brought the joy in the house. He was the,
outgoing.
Good morning, it's morning, And so I wasn't used to, but the year that his mom was dying, I had a different husband, and I didn't, and so I threw him in the arms of my friend.
Wow.
I actually literally did that.
Wow.
I asked her to step in for me.
Wow.
I said, I don't know what's wrong with him. I can't deal with it. When I allowed him to show me what my part was in it, he took me to that funeral home, Pastor Javen. I was transported into that funeral home, and I didn't see a dead body, but I saw a live rose, the rose I placed on him.
So I don't know if you catch what she's saying or not. I did, but I think sometimes what we tend to do is not do the work.
Yes.
We don't want to pull the layers back. We think counseling is for weak people. We think that going to these seminars or retreats, that's for somebody else. I'm done. I'm over with it. But it's amazing to hear, because I was interested to see where this was going to lead and how this was going to unfold. It's not the criticism of how you cooked or washed dishes or, dressed or whatever.
And we can all improve in all that.
Right.
I'm not saying we shouldn't, but that's condemnation if you're not going to do something about it. You know, if you're just, so you said it right.
And it's amazing how that led to your role in it, and how that evolved and how it manifested.
Yes, because when God showed me that, then he showed me the hardness of my heart.
Yeah.
You see, I had hardened that day that I made that vow. I will never love like that again. Vows are powerful, and they keep you loyal to them, even without you knowing. And I said, I will never love like that again. I couldn't nurture my kids. I did when they were babies, but the minute they could walk, I wasn't picking them up.
How do you do that though? That's hard. Like, how do you overcome a vow that you made because you made it because I mean, something made you make that vow.
Well, I was hurt.
Yeah.
You make vows out of hurt, out of trauma, out of things,
And to protect yourself, a defensive mechanism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is all about protection.
Yeah.
I knew that I could not go through the pain of losing someone like that again.
Don't want to deal with that again.
So what is it that I could shut down to? Is nurturing. Jesus. My kids will still tell you. You ask my kids, how, like, what's your mom like? Get up. Like what? Like, Mom, my throat is sore. Can you talk? Go to school. My son will tell you he went to school with a broken toe, and I said, well, you shouldn't have been running up the stairs. Get to school. And after school is.
I don't know, T. That might be the Italian in you.
It might be, but when I look back at the nurturing, it goes, Mom, how about some chicken soup?
Yeah, right.
I don't do chicken soup, kid. Just so funny. But they watched me change.
Okay.
All right.
So what caused you to change? How much more time we got? All right, about 5 more minutes. All right. So what helped you? I know God and all that.
Yeah.
But what were some of the practical things that helped you change your thought patterns?
I'll tell you real quick. What developed, the ministry that developed because of our change, 2 years of hell we walked through, was this. I call it the R3. I did this for the Today Show. Because they said I had 30 seconds to tell them what I do to cause people to go from here to here.
I love it.
So 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
The R3 is reveal, rewrite, and renew. I had to reveal my heart, give it to God, and be transparent and say, okay, I see it. Then I had to rewrite. Now, rewrite means I am willing not only to reveal what my part was, and where it came from, but I had to be willing to rewrite those feelings. I had to be willing to go back and say, God, forgive me for making that vow. God, forgive me for not trusting you with my future and my heart. God, give me and he promised me. This is where the renew comes in. He said, you give me your heart. You pick up that rose that was still alive.
Rose that you left.
Because he showed me the rose as my heart being laid down in that grave.
Yeah.
And he said, you pick up that rose that I've preserved, and I will give you your heart back. And that's the heart you're going to give your husband, and I will give you your marriage back. That's renew. And renew is making it better than it ever was before. Now, that doesn't mean it all got healed in that moment. Then there was the walk of the yes.
Walk of the yes.
The walk of the yes. And that is what changed us. We continued to reveal our hearts. He started revealing. I started revealing. What were we revealing? The hardness of our heart. That the enemy comes in. Who would have thought that was such a bad thing that I said, I can't love like that again.
Right.
But God showed me.
It would have made a great movie scene. I know that.
Yeah, So it's like, that is what changed. And then getting into the rewrite, which is a lot about compassion and forgiveness for each other and for ourselves.
Yeah.
I required two things of my husband to heal our marriage. Once God said, if you pick up your heart, I will heal your marriage. And I said, but I have some human requirements. And I said, Ron, if we're going to heal this marriage, I need two things, and I'm going to give you time to think about it. I said, the first one is that you choose me as if we're not married. Because I said, as of this moment, our vows have been broken.
Yeah, it's good.
So we got to start again.
It's good, Tina.
So would you choose me?
Right. That's good.
That's number one.
It's good.
And I said, the second.
That's a rewrite?
That's a rewrite.
That's a rewrite.
That's a
Got
rewrite.
It's good.
The second is, again, a rewrite, is that you will forgive yourself. I will forgive you because I want to walk in forgiveness.
Right.
But if I know you can't forgive yourself because of shame, I said, I can't live under that roof of unforgiveness.
Yeah.
And he said, the first one, he said, I can do. The second one. And that's what took the 2 years. Is for us to finally.
What did you call it? The
shame.
walk of yes.
The walk of yes, walking out the yes.
Walking out the yes.
Yeah. Yes is easy, Yes is when you know God, and you say yes. But then for some people it's like you got to walk it out. For some people, healing is instant.
Yeah.
For some people, addiction, it's instant.
Yeah.
But God works in different ways with all of us.
This is good, Tina.
Yeah.
This is good. We're out of time. This is good. We got to do more stuff. I'm so glad. I met Tina through April, and then once I found out who she really is, I already liked her. We were already cutting up in the back, having fun. And then I read her bio. I was like, okay, no wonder why I like this lady. But it's so amazing. Tell them the name of the book, by the way.
How God Used the Other Woman. You can get it on Amazon or Focus on the Family.
Yeah, How God Used the Other. And it's a bestseller, right?
Did really well.
There's
and
a
then
possibility.
pandemic hit. So now we've got to get back on it.
Yeah, start traveling and promoting again.
Yeah.
And it might possibly become a movie. I heard somewhere.
Yes, and Billy and China have agreed that they would play Ron and I. So, and then I just found out you're an actor, so I'm already looking at
listen,
that.
man, I'm in. I'll play an attorney. I'll play whatever. I love it. I'm always the bad guy in movies. I don't know why people always say, why are you always mean in movies? I say, that's the roles they give me. I take what I can get.
Lots of places for that.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Let's give them the 3 R's again. Reveal.
Rewrite.
Renew. So if you're wanting that restoration, not just in marriages, but in any relationship in your life with your children. Sometimes we are distant from our kids. We're going through some things. Sometimes we're distant with coworkers. Sometimes we're distant with church and pastors and church hurt and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You got to be willing to take those steps. Reveal what's going on really within your heart in the situation. Be honest about that. Got to do the work, people. You got to do the work, man. A lot of people don't want to do it, but it's not as hard. I want to say this right quick. It's not as hard as it seems. Sometimes it may sound hard or, oh, Tina, that's easy for you, Javen. Y'all can. No, but I promise you, once you start doing it, it's just like anything. It starts getting better.
And can I just add that one thing? If you look on what's the other side, that was the other encouragement. You know, my husband said Jesus had something in it for himself when he went to the cross and suffered. You know what he saw? He had to see joy. In order to take the stripes, in order to take the crown, in order to take the bleeding, that all hurt. He was human. That all hurt. But he kept his eyes. He even asked God to remove it. You know how many times I said, God, take this away, like, but he saw joy. He saw joy.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. And we were his joy that he saw, so
We got to go. This is good. Oh my God. See what's on the other side. That's the renew. See what's on the other side. I often said David didn't just kill Goliath because he had faith. He knew that he was going to get the king's daughter. He knew he was going to get tax-free.
Don't you steal my message. That's my preaching right there.
Love y'all. God bless.
What's in it for me?
What's in it for me?